Yep.
Okay, welcome to the Friddle Show. Thank you so much, Sean, for taking the
Whoa,
time to
whoa,
be
whoa.
with us.
Friddle Show. What, is this how you dress for television?
I didn't know we were going to be on television.
I've got a tie. I've got a jacket. I took this interview seriously, and you show up in a t-shirt.
We were going to
and
record.
Jeans.
There was going to be no.
By the way, and you don't even have socks on for crying out loud.
Look.
Oh my, Friddle socks.
Our socks.
By the way, your grandmother's here.
She is
Nanny
here.
O, you call her, right?
Yes.
Can you pant at Nanny O? Nanny O. You remember when she fell in the pool?
Oh, yes.
And that she dove into the kiddie pool and hurt her head?
Oh, yes.
And look, she's never been the same since?
I think she's more sane since that happened.
It helped.
You do. It helped her.
It helped.
She was worse
Don't you
before.
think she should dress up for a big TV interview?
All right, moving on.
I just realized I
This is the best part of the interview.
Okay.
Nanny O now just...
I want another picture.
You can have another
We
picture?
can get another picture. Get another picture.
All right.
So, okay.
Do you throw football on your show?
No, it's audio. No one can see it except for right now.
Well, I thought you were videotaping.
Well, we are this one because you're special.
I'm special.
You're
Oh,
special.
excuse me. The last time I checked, you said somebody else got more hits than my interview.
Somebody else did get more hits than you, like twice as many.
Like twice as many. Well, it was like your first interview. Or third.
No. Well, it's been almost a year. That's actually why we're doing special with you. 1 year.
I welcome her back, and all she does is give me a hard time. All right, what's the question?
Okay. All right. So, my generation.
You should never let the guest take control of the interview.
You know, I was getting there. That's like question number 9.
Yeah.
Interview advice.
9?
We didn't get there
How
yet.
many questions do I have here?
As many as I feel like asking, or you agree to say.
All right, come on.
All right.
Hit me
So,
with it.
my generation forgets the value of hard work.
Yes.
That's something you obviously had no problem with. I mean, what, you started working like as soon as you could crawl?
Pretty much.
When did that?
First paper out at 8.
Uh-huh.
Dishwasher at 12. Cook at 13. Busboy at 15. Busboy waiter 15, 16. Bartender at 17. Then it was painting houses. Then it was hanging wallpaper. Then it was reconstruction. Then I was going to school actually to build houses. And then I did construction. Fell off a roof. This part of my arm from here down, dangling, almost like. You see, I was smart enough to land on my arm.
You landed on your arm?
But I did bust all my teeth up pretty bad.
So are they real?
Most of them.
Most of them?
Not all of them. All those years I played hockey, every one of my friends lost their teeth but me. Only so I could lose them in construction.
Did you ever have a job you didn't like, or said, I never want to do that again?
Absolutely. Worst job in my life, I was in California once, and I went out on an oil rig. It's not like North Dakota. It was a very different circumstance, and I felt like I was in prison. It was that bad.
So then, all these different things you did, how did you transition to radio? Did you just walk into a studio one day and say, hey, I want to do this?
It's funny because my parents growing up, it wasn't shut off the TV, it was always turn that blank radio off, because I'd have it on at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and I'd still be listening. And I listened, for whatever reason, I was drawn to talk radio. I always liked music, I still like music, but I was really drawn to talk radio. And the great pioneers of talk radio, from Barry Gray to Barry Farber, and later Bob Grant, and then Rush. And when I lived in Rhode Island, I listened to Jerry Williams and Gene Burns. And these guys were it. These were the real pioneers that literally opened this path for people like myself, and now you're obviously following in these footsteps, to get on the air, express opinions in a strong way, and now people are grown accustomed to it. And when I started in talk radio in '87 or '88, I mean, I think there were only about 200 talk stations nationwide, and now we've got thousands, and then you've got cable TV exploding. So,
what was the hardest thing for you to learn when you first jumped into radio?
To listen.
To listen to the response?
Like for example, the worst thing that you could do is you can prepare questions, and I do for big interviews. I'm not saying I'm a big interview, but for like with presidents and vice presidents and things like that, or if I read somebody's book. But what I learned is to listen to their answer. If you're thinking about the next question, I'm not hearing you.
Right.
So you got to really focus in on what it is that they're saying. So I think that's where I probably have grown the most as a host.
What was your favorite interview that you've ever done?
People ask that. I like the whole package. In other words, I like debates. I like news interviews. We did an interview tonight with an Iraqi Christian woman in Mosul who literally is trying to help her fellow Christians because they've been told in Mosul to convert to Islam or get killed.
Yeah.
And I find that's fascinating to me. That woman is living under terror, and how is she handling it? Was it cool to go to the White House? Was it cool to be on Air Force One? Was it cool to be in Iraq with Donald Rumsfeld? I just like every part of it. I like the whole package of it, radio and TV, because radio is cathartic and probably helps calm me down for the 1 hour I have on TV.
So is TV just kind of a microcosm of what you're doing for 3 hours on radio?
No, it's very different. TV is more powerful in this sense. I would argue radio is more intimate because you in talk radio, people have to actively listen.
Right.
In television, I can just say, really, you know, and you can make a point without having to say it all. So in that sense, it's a little more powerful. I like doing them both. Really, I'm very fortunate. Very
so
blessed.
this is your studio.
Yeah.
You got your football.
Can't
Where did this come from?
I'll tell you where. You see all those crew members over there?
Yes.
So it just started with, I like to get loose. I like to keep a loose environment in here, which is kind of, it's not like how a lot of hosts here do their shows. In other words, I talk to the crew. I would throw balls with the crew. It helps loosen me up. It loosens up the environment. We make fun of each other. We joke around. We eat pizza together. We have a great time. And for me, I like the environment to be loose. The more relaxed I am, the more relaxed our guests are. I always feel it's going to be a better show. This is about having fun. This is about, you know, this is not brain surgery. Nobody's life is on the line here. I think the issues we talk about are important. These are troubling times we live in. I take my job seriously. I don't take myself seriously. By the way, you just shut off the lights. There's no Hannity logo left.
No Hannity.
It's a big sad moment, the end of the Hannity program. So that's my answer.
So you like for it to be fun. What does Hannity do for fun when you're not here throwing the football having fun?
You know, that's an interesting question. What do I do for fun? I like to go out. I like to eat. I can't eat as much as I like, which I don't like. 2 beverages usually does it for me, adult beverages. I spend a lot of time at my kids' sporting events, tennis. I love to go to sporting events. Rangers games, Yankee games, football games. I love sports. I love watching sports. I play golf, but not very good. I work out by doing martial arts, and I do that now with a vigor and intensity I never imagined I'd do. I like being able to defend myself. I like being in good shape.
Yeah.
About a year and a half ago, I lost about 25 pounds, and I've been able to keep it off through working out. I think you remember when I was fatter. Admit it.
You were never fat.
I was fat.
No, you weren't.
Well, I'm telling you.
You lost weight, but you were never fat.
I don't know what it is. It was here. I was like 4 months pregnant, 5 months maybe. Are you laughing, Grandma? All right. And I had 4 chins. Now I only have 2.
Let's go back to sports. The Jets are your guys. The Jets play
I
the
like
Broncos
the Jets. I
this
also
year?
like the Giants.
You like the Giants?
I
The
know
Jets
you're a
play
big-
the Broncos this year. Are you
Yeah, they do.
frightened? Are you scared?
Oh, not frightened or scared. Look,
No.
I tip my hat. I think Peyton Manning. I've always loved John Elway. I like the coach of the Denver Broncos.
John Fox.
I like the management of the Broncos. They're a great team.
Yeah.
The Jets are rebuilding. You know, what can I argue? I mean, they lost in the Super Bowl, but I was pulling for them over the Seahawks. I bet on them. I lost a lot of money on them. And they're a great team, a great organization. I tip my hat to them. I like Woody Johnson. I like Rex Ryan. I like Geno Smith. I like Michael Vick, except for the dog thing.
Which one? Geno Smith?
I think they're going to start with Geno, and Geno's got to step up. You know, this is not. This is the professional National Football League.
Yeah.
You either got to perform or you're not going to make it. Sort of like radio and TV. I know many of my friends have gotten fired in radio, fired in TV, and I've been very fortunate to have something that a lot of people in radio and TV don't have, which is longevity. And the only way I can get that is through harder work. I work harder now than when I first started. I mean, you would think every year gets easier. It's just the opposite. Every year gets harder. It's more competitive, and you got people breathing down your neck, wanting your job every day.
Really? People want your job?
Oh yeah, of course. You know, I'm very blessed to work here. It's a great place to be, and I think the best thing that I did to prepare myself for this job is I moved around. I lived 5 years in Rhode Island and 5 years in in California, and 2 years in Alabama, and 4 years in Atlanta. And then I kind of got lucky, and I got hired in the ground floor of the Fox News channel. I was terrible when I started, and because it was a new channel, I had time to grow, which that time does not exist today for somebody new. The first day you're on the air, there's going to be articles about your ratings, there's going to be articles about whether you're good or you stink, and whether or not you're going to survive. That was not the environment when I came in, so it was very outliers-ish if you ever read Malcolm Gladwell.
Yeah, but you've done very well with this. So I'll wrap it up with this. How do you define success? What is retired Hannity 40 years from now? Look back and say,
you said that with a smile on your face because you know 40 years from now I'm going to be long dead and gone.
Just, you know.
And look, how do you measure anybody's success in life? From a religious perspective, we've all sinned and fallen short. So, amen, right?
Amen.
Amen. Okay. From a personal perspective, I never do as well as I want to do. Just always driven. I want a little more, higher ratings here, higher ratings there. I don't measure success by financial measures, although I've been paid more than I deserve, I think, over the years. Am I a good father? Am I a good husband half the time? 30% of the time. You know, how do you are you a good person? Are you good with the people around you? Do you care about people? Are you generous? Are you kind? Are you know, do I add anything worthwhile to people's lives? Like we've been involved in this project on radio, putting Americans back to work, and we've got over 2,000 people jobs to transform their lives. Yeah. I feel good about that. I feel good that we've raised 15, 16 million for the children of slain heroes in Iraq and Afghanistan. I feel good that I can have a little extra money, that I've donated money to a lot of military charities and other charities. So you try and do the best you can, knowing that we're all flawed and egotistical maniacs, and you try and eliminate that pride every day.
Well, thank you very much, Sean. I really appreciate it.
That's it?
That's it.
Did you get to all 9 of your questions? No.
Well, do you want to say anything to
Let me see. Let me see here. What does Hannity do for fun? What sports played in your life? Geno Smith, Michael Vick, you got that one in.
Yeah.
Where did the set?
What sports did you
got
play?
that in.
What sports did you play?
I played ice hockey.
You lost your teeth. What else?
No, I was the only one of my friends that didn't lose my teeth.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. No, I was listening.
Grandma, she was listening.
I said the teeth were fake, and that's where that came from.
Most important decision I've ever made. How would you define
Go for
success? What will a retired Hannity? I want to learn how to play golf better. I stink at it.
No, that's the first one. We already got all those.
All right, you got all those in. You got all your questions in.
I did. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. What do you plan to do with this new outlet of yours?
What do I plan to do with the outlet? That depends on how many people keep listening.
Yeah.
So
now,
we'll see.
What is this friend of yours, Nat, that apparently works for a secret society? Natalie, right?
Natalie, yes. I believe I know who you're talking about.
Okay. And that Natalie works for some secret society where a bunch of famous people apparently sit around a fire in the woods.
I've heard this.
And there's
I think
rumors,
it's a big fire.
A big fire. There's rumors about what goes on out there.
There are a lot of rumors.
Do you know who goes to that?
I know some. I mean, not personally, I don't know them, no.
Yeah.
Depends on what you mean by that question.
And why does how did your friend, who apparently doesn't make a lot of money, how does she afford a Mercedes?
That's a great question. Natalie?
Take it away. All right, Fred.
That was fun.
Thanks, Sean.
Okay, one more.